Hello, Space Explorers, and welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 2. Last time we finished off the Awakening Wood, including the Snaggart Hole and the deadly pileated Snaggart. And in today's episode, we're going to be returning to the Perplexing Pool to try and collect a few more above-ground treasures, and doing one of the two remaining dungeons. Now, normally I'd like to go to the Piclopedia or the treasures, but we're going to have to forego that for now, because we need all the time we can get. Because this can be pretty tough. We've been away from the pool for a little while, long enough for enemies to have regenerated, so... And we also have blue Pikmin now, so the blue Pikmin are going to be pretty busy making up for lost time and trying to get some objectives done. We're also going to have a few purple Pikmin out here, just so we can help with enemy destruction and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be the plan for today. Before we do anything else, let's begin clearing out some enemies, why not? Heading over here to the sand, we're going to have a few shearwigs, I believe. Yes, the same spot as before. Alright, quick and painless kill right there. And let us separate into 10 purple Pikmin. And then 2 more shearwigs over there. We're going to have... rather annoying enemy here with this fiery blowhog, which could be a pest if not dealt with, in my experience. So, there we go. Ravenous Whisker Pillars. No thanks. Well, I guess it's too late for that. So we'll leave them alone. And these purples, I think, are going to be fine for now. But let's go ahead and have our 90 blues. Get some stuff done over here. We'll start off by having a few of them work on this bridge. About 10 of them ought to be good enough. And we have a new enemy. Say hello to the Toady Bloister. Kind of a weird name, I know. It's kind of a slug-like creature. A sea slug, I guess. But in order to defeat this, you have to keep throwing Pikmin at its onion-like tail. And that does damage. The only way to deal damage to this thing. Pretty quick and painless, I would say. If we can get our Pikmin all situated, and they're still working on the bridge. A lot of blue pellets there. Before we start working on that, we can head over to this grass patch over here to try and get some nectar, hopefully. Yeah. While that's going on, we'll have Olimar with the small purple squad take out another enemy or two, particularly yellow Wollywogs, because they can be pretty painful to be sure. So there we go. There's another one over here, and there's going to be some shearwigs over here. There should be a trio. Yes, a trio of shearwigs. There we go. And last but not least, let's try to lure this yellow Wollywog over here to the ground, where the purple Pikmin won't drown. And there we go. So the purple Pikmin's purpose is now more or less fulfilled. I believe we will have them collect this yellow Wollywog carcass and take it back to the yellows. That's a capital idea. The yellows are kind of behind on the sprouts, and we've got plenty of nectar for the blues to feed on. You love to see it. Still plenty left over too. Wow. So we're just gonna have, because the other blues are done with the bridge, we're gonna have these blues all flowered up. Take everything here, because why not? Starting with the onion for the spoil of the Toady Bloister, and the 2 10 pellets, because, yeah, we're about to get a big boon to the blue Pikmin population, which is pretty nice. We may as well grab all of these as well, just so it's less clutter. I'm glad at least one of them dropped a blue pellet, because that's at least somewhat fitting. Grab Olimar. I would leave the 5 pellet here, but I guess we can grab that. And we can grab, oh, dropped a 5 yellow pellet. That's pretty nice. Too bad it's in the water, so it's pretty useless, all things considered. So we'll go ahead and grab all these spoils to build up the blue Pikmin population to be above 100, so that we shouldn't have to worry about that too much anymore. And our treasure is the aquatic mine. No relation to the level from Sonic Adventure 2, I'm pretty sure. So we managed to take care of all of that in pretty good time, thankfully. We are not going to need the help of the purple Pikmin anymore, but we've still got spoils coming in. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the purple Pikmin up, and then we're going to try and get the 10 blues out. That way we don't have to pluck any more sprouts, I meant to say. Wow, what am I thinking of? My old pixel art days, probably. Hopefully we get all this settled before the halfway point of the day. That would be nice. So, actually, I think that's the last spoil. Okay, good. Most of our Pikmin are nectared up, and I think we've taken care of what we should take care of for now. So let's keep moving forward as much as we can, although we have leaf Pikmin, which are inevitably going to slow us down at least somewhat. So, yeah, there we go. I do think I want to save my bitter spray, but you never know. Let's just use the bitter spray on the Walla Wog, if nothing else, than to save us some time. And we get a little nectar glob, so that's nice. That'll speed up things a little bit more. There's going to be a random skitter leaf here. Easy kill. And with our ultra spicy spray and 100 blue Pikmin, that wall should be taken down rather quickly. And we also see the Glutton's Kitchen from here. It was a pretty fun dungeon for what it was, I would say. Anyways, with the ultra spicy spray and having literally 100 Pikmin, this wall probably isn't going to be standing very much longer. Thankfully, the ultra spicy spray should last long enough to basically get it, almost completely eliminated by the time it runs out. There's going to be another skitter leaf on the other side, but it's not really a threat. But we're going to have some threats pretty soon after that, unfortunately. And we're going to want to try and take them all out. And the treasure over here is also going to be rather annoying. It's one of the most annoying treasures to collect in the game. Probably at least top 3, because it's a rather time-consuming process. Not to mention all these enemies all around here that we're going to have to take care of. Including the Hermit Crawmad, which can sometimes mess with you, timing-wise. But there you go, we got the smaller one, and now we have to take out the big brother. Just be careful that he doesn't get snagged on the mouth. Or that your Pikmin don't get snagged on the mouth. And there we go. After that, we're going to have 2 water dumples over here. A bit easier to kill in Pikmin 2 without losing Pikmin, because of, like, a lot of enemies in this game have a delay where the Pikmin might be in their mouth, but they're not quite eaten up yet. And don't worry about the Withering Glowhog deflowering your Pikmin too much, because there's actually going to be a source of nectar nearby over here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and put a few Pikmin on that detail. And let's bring this rock down so that we can get started on this rather long puzzle. Yep. So have one captain beyond the rocks and have another captain with the Pikmin squad throwing down to have the rocks shift forward and backwards a bunch of times. Or up and down, rather, a bunch of times. And keep the movement going. Oh, that was pretty bad. Alright, yeah, that could have been bad right there. Pikmin are just all over the place. It gets chaotic. Which, wow. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Shouldn't be losing too much time for that, though. So, just keep moving. Oh, that was a pretty good skip right there, sort of. Sort of a skip. Not really a skip, but sort of a skip. And we can at least like toss the Pikmin over there. And just keep trying to weigh down that block. And oh, I don't know what happened there, but I'll take it. And let's try and get all of the Pikmin together here. Easier said than done. This is quite a cluster. I do say so myself. And try to toss Pikmin up there. They kind of get there like by the edge, almost. And let's try to get as many on the treasure as we can. The treasure can hold up to 30, and that's definitely what we want. So, there we go. That should be it. For today. Today's dungeon is rather infamous. So anyway, this treasure I believe is called the girdle. The massage girdle. I wonder if it's a reference to the massage machine, the ship part from the original Pikmin. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put our 30 blues in the onion, and we're going to enter the dungeon with 70 blues, which I think is a fine number. And I really hope this Captain Warp thing works out, because otherwise we're going to have some problems. Beep, beep. Interesting. Deeper sections of this hole seem to be submerged in liquid. Sadly, I am a delicate piece of machinery that is sensitive to water. You two must go alone. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Why do you look at me with such scornful expressions? I am an expensive machine. Beep, beep, boop, boop. Fine, I will go. But this wantonly reckless treatment of company property will be reported. There, yeah, 70 flowered blue Pikmin. Say hello to the submerged castle. This is a dungeon that you can only enter with blue Pikmin. There is no way to get rid of the water in the back of the perplexing pool. As you can see, this dungeon has all kinds of threats. Well, you'll see what that entails. And based, the Captain Warp actually works. So we're going to be in pretty good shape here, going into the submerged castle. This is considered the most infamous dungeon in Pikmin 2, by the way. And something of a guilty pleasure for me, I guess, because it's a dungeon where you get to use only blue Pikmin. My favorite type, right? What could possibly go wrong? How about anything and everything? Because there's a certain gimmick to this dungeon and this dungeon only. Well, besides the usual enemies that fall from the sky, of course. Like the fiery blowhog. But we get the cutscene for Pikmin getting burned for the first time. You gotta whistle them all, thankfully barely in time. And for some reason when they get burned, they don't get deflowered. Oh, the fiery Bulblex spawned right in the water. Well, alright. Anyway, you use your bitter spray when the fiery Bulblex is in the water, or if it spawns in the water, that's even better, and defeat it that way. You definitely want a bitter spray, otherwise you're probably going to lose a lot of Pikmin trying to do this. Yeah. Thankfully, fiery blowhogs don't have anywhere near the HP they had in the original Pikmin, so shouldn't be too hard to deal with. We are going to have 2 treasures on this floor, if I am not mistaken. And this floor is also, you probably guessed by now, it's fire-themed. Each floor, I think, focuses on a different kind of hazard. So we're going to get this treasure over here. Only needs 10 Pikmin. If you have any extra blue Pikmin, I would recommend entering, by the way, with 50 to 70. No less than 50. You want a good amount of blue Pikmin for this. Alright, we'll grab this other treasure. Grab the carcass. Can't see how much a fiery Bulblex is worth in Pocos, unfortunately, because we kind of killed it pretty good. And there's also a geyser on the first floor, and you might be wondering why that is. Well, there's a reason. Anyway, we got bug bait, which I don't know what kind of dessert or food that's supposed to be, but there is such thing as bug bait that you leave out for bugs to eat, and it's usually poisoned or spiked, so it'll usually kill the bug. This is a diet doomer. It's another kind of sweet. So yeah, that kind of works out. Oh, actually, there's another treasure. So there's actually 3 treasures. All right. Oh, the other treasure's right here. Well, that shouldn't be a big deal, as long as we take care of the fire and get all the Pikmin on the treasure, so it gets to the thing as soon as possible. Let's get one captain onto the exit over here, just so we can get out here as soon as possible, for very specific reasons. I have very good reasons for this. I have very good reasons for this, I assure you. Now we're just going to leave that fiery blowhog carcass to rot, because I don't want to stick around each floor longer than I have to for a very specific reason. So here is the pastry wheel. It's a donut. Have you never seen a donut before? Actually, you know what? We are going to grab the fiery blowhog carcass. And apparently no Pikmin were deflowered, even though I'm pretty sure they were. Alright, as long as one captain has all the Pikmin, you can have another captain, exit, and bada bing bada boom. We're done with the first floor of the submerged castle. There are only 5 floors, and one of them is a boss floor, so that's a bit of a relief. And you might be wondering, why am I showing so much anxiety when it's supposed to be a regular run-of-the-mill dungeon, right? Right? Well, not exactly. Hopefully I won't have to go over what this dungeon's gimmick is, because if I do, that's usually a bad sign. Say hello to a new enemy, the careening Dirigibug. This enemy carries around bomb rocks and tries to blow up your Pikmin. If you attack the Dirigibug, the bomb rock will usually be tossed far away enough that it shouldn't kill any of your Pikmin. Which is very good. But anyway, a major thing for this floor is that we're going to have an introduction of another new enemy that's a lot more interesting than the careening Dirigibug, which is basically just a snitch bug that tosses bomb rocks. That's essentially what you can boil it down to. Although it's actually less annoying because it doesn't grab your Pikmin or anything like that. Which, is nice. Over here... Ah, yes, there's a Dweevil. Looks like we'll have to deal with that problem when we get to it. But we want to take some Pikmin here. I don't think we want to take all of them. So, yeah, something like that will be pretty good. Through the pipe over here, if they will cooperate. Overhead view can be pretty good here. We want to go through the pipe because I'm pretty sure, yep, there's a treasure here. And, yep. So we want to put as many Pikmin as we can on there. It looks like it's going to be 20 this time. Have the rest of the Pikmin follow. Hopefully no issues. And let's try to have everyone reconvene, because otherwise this could get pretty dicey. We can just whistle the other captain, by the way, and the Pikmin associated with the captain will automatically, come to you. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, this treasure is going to be the hardest one to bring back, because you're going to have Dweevils trying to get in your way, potentially. Yeah. There we go. Getting in the way over there, but thankfully we can have our Pikmin... Whoa, 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 whoa. No need to be that aggressive. Jeez. They're out for blood. And just toss Pikmin onto the thing that the Dweevil is carrying, and they'll knock it off, thankfully. There's only 2 of them, so yeah, that's the most time-consuming treasure we're going to have to worry about. I guess if they're going to bother to take that, we may as well take the careening Dirigibug, take this carcass, and start working on this wall. Oh, look at that. We got a new enemy on the other side of the wall. It's actually kind of a bad sign, because it could potentially start eating the Pikmin as they're working on the wall. Kind of annoying. But we are going to address that as soon as we can. It looks like the enemy is stuck, on the corner of the wall, which is kind of funny. So this treasure is another donut. I bet you're noticing a theme here, and this is the chocolate cushion. Well, I guess it is a cushion in some sense. So anyways, let's whistle all of our Pikmin out of there. And we are going to try and kill this enemy with just our captains. So this is a Bulbmin. It's kind of a fusion of a Bulborb and a Pikmin. As you can see, it has a leaf sprout like a Pikmin does. So, but it's a Bulborb that, like the Spotty Bulbear, doesn't spawn asleep. It's actually awake as soon as you enter the floor. And it also has a treasure. But say hello to the Junior Bulbmin. Brr. The confused Bulborb has fallen in with the Pikmin. They appear to coexist peacefully. Strange. This Bulborb has a leaf sprouting from its spine, much like the leaf on a Pikmin's head. So, Bulbmin are a unique Pikmin-Bulborb hybrid species that will follow you. However, they are only found in caves, and they cannot be taken outside of the caves, unfortunately. Yep. So let's try to regroup all of our Pikmin together here. And Bulbmin. But I'll just call them all Pikmin as a group just because it's easier on the memory banks. Let's head over here. We'll let them take the carcass. We're going to have a rock to destroy. Oh my god, that cutscene transition kind of scared me a little bit. And this is a very cheap treasure, but it's just the comfort cookie. It's a cookie that looks comfortable. Kind of looks like a cushion. Even though we just had the chocolate cushion earlier. Oh, that is rather inconvenient. To have those enemies spawn there. Thankfully, they are easily-ish defeated. Alright. Yeah, this floor can probably screw you over with some RNG. So we're going to have to toss Pikmin over there and get the treasure out of there. While that guy is just eating the Pikmin, kind of scot-free because of the position. But I guess that's kind of fine. If it eats the Bulbmin don't add to your numbers. And if it's eating blue Pikmin, well, we just make more of them rather easily. So I don't want to have to reset this game more than I have to. Oh, no. We weren't fast enough, unfortunately, but at least the last treasure's on its way. What is this? I can see it with my optical receptors, but my sensors cannot detect it. Could its physical form be anchored in another dimension? Attacking it is futile. If only we could force it to take on physical form, but in its current state... Danger! 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 I'm pretty sure it spawned on the complete other side of the floor. So let's have one captain in the cave, and let's just have the other captain worry about regrouping with all the Pikmin ASAP before that thing can deal with us. Or attempt to deal with us. And this is the confection hoop. It seems like every single treasure we have gotten on this godforsaken... Oh, no. No! Oh my god, and the whistle doesn't want to reach. Wait. Where did they... No! No! Oh my god, this is ridiculous. It's actually kind of following us a little too good. Olimar, get us the hell out of here. Oh my god. Alright, take 2 of floor 3 of the submerged castle. It gets rough, because this floor is electricity themed. So we're going to have to rely on the Bulbmin to help us out with that. Hope I didn't just accidentally toss a blue Pikmin, by the way. We've got some unknown beetles over there. Got that thing to worry about. Probably best to separate into the Bulbmin for now, just so they can take care of all these threats. And try to get rid of this Dweevil because it could potentially be annoying. Be careful. Seems like 10 of them do a pretty good number on it though, so that's pretty good. Ivory Candy Pop Bud, which I think we're going to need because I think there's a hidden treasure around here somewhere. Kind of annoying. Not really much sense in zooming out pretty much because of the dark background lighting here. But, okay, there's a treasure over there. Oh, and we got that. Okay. So let's try to knock him out with just the captain. This should be doable. Having both of them would be better. But not impossible, mind you. Or we can weaken it with the captain and just use the Bulbmin to attack, because if the Bulbmin die, it's whatever, because they don't add to our numbers when we leave the cave, as it were. So let's just toss the rest, and attack, 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 and there we go. Now we have 20, which I think is enough to bring back the treasure, but we'll leave the carcass. So, let's try to get this thing out of the way. For some reason they shake off Pikmin when they're being attacked in that fashion. Let's head around here, and I think we're just a... Oh, not quite a loop. Okay. So, that could get pretty convoluted. Oh, we've got this treasure as well. Well, we'll just take that, why don't we? Yes, indeed. Oh, we've got that electric gate to worry about. Are the Bulbmen going to be okay? Yes, they are. So I think we're going to have these Bulbmen take care of the electric gate, because we're going to have to bring our squad a bit forward, somewhat. So, yeah. Apparently that treasure only needs 3, which is pretty interesting. Alright, there we go. The other treasure is on the way. Well, there's an alternate entrance here. So maybe we can go around there. I believe there's 3 or 4 treasures on this floor. Ooh, look at this. It's a compelling cookie. Even though it could be considered hypnotic. I don't know. Alright, let's try to take care of the anode beetle situation a bit. Nah, it might be a little annoying. So, there's the exit, which is, of course, flanked by a rock wall. Because, of course, it is. So, let's get the rest of the Bulbmen over here so they can help the situation. Matter of fact, I think we're just going to have to take our whole Pikmin squad and just kind of risk it a little bit. And this treasure is the succulent mattress, which looks similar to the other cookie we got earlier. Kind of very similar. Anyway, toss Pikmin onto there, and double kill. That is a very bad position for the Withering Blowhog, because it's just going to keep blowing Pikmin out of the wall, I think. But the wall should still be going down anyway. We are going to lose a lot of flowers, though. That's the unfortunate thing. And for some reason, the wind is freaking affecting the captains. I don't remember that being the case, but... Alright. It's going to be rough. It's going to be very rough. But here we go. Just keep attacking the Withering Blowhog. Easy is as easy does. I'm glad I caught that. Jesus. Transmitting electricity through the other side of the wall. Easy kill was that. Alright. So we've still got... Actually, looks like that might be it. And we already got 2 treasures. So maybe there isn't a hidden treasure here? Hopefully. Alright, I guess we're going to have some Pikmin knock out that wall. Grab these carcasses and the treasure. We might be alright. I don't know. At least I hope we'll be alright. Kind of hard to say sometimes. But, there we go. And let's try to get this wall taken down, please. The faster the better. We are kind of on a time limit here. So, this treasure is... It's got an M on it. Makes you think of Mario. But it's the Activity Arouser. It arouses activity. Okay, that was indeed the last treasure on the floor. There is an ivory candy pop bud around here somewhere. And I think there's a fairly risk-free way that we can take advantage of it. Yeah, you can already hear the sound effect. Alright, sub-level 4 of the Submerged Castle. It's gonna be the hardest floor. There's quite a few treasures we gotta get. And we gotta worry about poison, we gotta worry about careening dirigibugs, we gotta worry about a lot of explosion-related enemies, by the way. Let's just try to avoid that bomb rock, please. Alright. There we go. And let's just try to defeat this freaking careening dirigibug and move on. We've got a volatile Dweevil, which is a Dweevil that's made up of a bomb rock somehow. Lost 1 Pikmin to that. That's alright. Toss Pikmin onto the Bulbmen. Do damage. Hopefully it doesn't eat any Pikmin. Gotta get pretty lucky here, but there we go. And now we have Bulbmen on our side. This is very good. Some nectar would be really good right about now. It's Too bad most of them are hidden behind the walls. And we've also got to worry about volatile dweevils in bulk. So there we go. And leaf Pikmin have a really tough time running away from them, especially if the Pikmin get distracted. Okay. First time a Pikmin's getting poisoned. Alright. Same with the fire, just whistle them if they get poisoned. It's not really supposed to be a big deal. So, yeah. Thankfully, bomb rocks can take care of threats, like the poison emitter, surprisingly. That could work on the electric gate as well. And it looks like we've got more Bulbmin over here, so that's pretty nice. So let's keep tossing Pikmin at it, and it goes down. So there we go. Our numbers keep growing. Let's grab this treasure, and there's the exit. Darn. Okay. So since the treasure is over there, we're gonna have to open up the rock. Oh god. Avoid the bombs, though. Not to mention, we still gotta worry about the time limit for the freaking water wraith, by the way. That's still a threat. Just, you know. Not sure why the Pikmin don't want to, like, start working on the rock. They were acting kind of weird. So we're gonna have Olimar. Actually, no, we want Louie. Oh my god. These bomb rocks. Just dealing there. Alright. Oh! This is really good, though. Because, this is the iridescent lint beetle. It has a treasure. We ran into one, not too long ago, actually. So, there we go. Deviled ham. Deviled ham spread. Alright. Drone supplies. A drone, huh? Okay, we're just gonna have Olimar take all the Pikmin, and we're gonna have Louie at the exit, so we can take care of that instantly, rather than hoping on luck because of the freaking water wraith. And there's another Korean Dirigibug here that I failed to notice until now. Alright then. Thankfully we got it before it could spawn another bomb. So, here we go. Let's keep this treasure train rolling, alright? And on the map, we've still got unexplored areas, so we want to take a look at those, since those might have the treasure. That's just an egg. I mean, don't get me wrong, an egg is pretty good, but we gotta focus on priorities here, and the priority should be on treasure. There's an exposed egg right there. And a volatile dweevil. Because of course. Alright. That probably could have been worse. Let's try to get this egg. If we can. We got that treasure back, so we got the battery, we got the drone supplies, and we got the Pale Passion. But haven't gotten all the treasures yet, unfortunately. Wait, the map is uncovered. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. No, it is freaking not. So the treasure has to be over here somewhere for sure. So, okay then, I guess it's on the other side of this wall. Now there's the battery. Okay. And there's the water wraith. I have no idea. Oh, I think I saw it. But this is going to be bad because we're going to have to worry about taking back a treasure while worrying about the water wraith. Make sure there's no bombs. Alright. Now this isn't going to be fun, because the water wraith could very well get in the way, and the Pikmin are moving at the speed of a snail. So, might have to worry about losing some Pikmin here. I'm still not sure if we even got all the treasures, to be truth be told. Yeah. Get the treasure. Come on, just get the treasure. Don't worry about the water wraith. Maybe we could try to get that egg. I don't know. This could be kind of rough. Get the treasure. Hopefully it's the last treasure of the floor so we can get out of here. Yeah, AA battery, although it looks more like a AAA. And that is all of the treasure. I think he's just gonna rotate around. So, let's just get nectared up here. Alright. We still got 52 blue Pikmin. We entered with 70 though, didn't we? Oh, he's stuck. Oh, that's kind of funny then. Oh, jeez, we're gonna have to get out of here. We got all the treasure. I'm not worried about this anymore. Alright, we finally made it to the final floor of the submerged castle. All that's left is the boss fight. And you probably already know what the boss fight is. I mean, it's kind of implied. But first, let's break down all of the walls. There are some violet candy pop buds here that you will need to concern yourself with because the purple Pikmin are going to be the only way you can damage this boss, at least at first. So you're going to need to keep that in mind. Let's try to get both captains in on the egg-breaking action, because that will significantly speed up the process. Could have sworn there were more eggs, but apparently not. Let's gather all of our Pikmin together, and I would recommend using Bulbmin to convert into purples, because then it's a plus to your total Pikmin population, and pluses are good. So you definitely want that. And you'll still have Bulbmin. I wouldn't worry about that. So you'll still have Bulbmin that you can use for the fight. They just won't follow you outside of the cave, unfortunately. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and pluck all of the purple Pikmin. And to get them all nectared up, we should have enough nectar for that, and maybe some left over to nectar up the remaining blues, but I would rather wait for that, because I don't think we're going to be using blues in the boss fight. Kind of already lost enough of them as it is. So, let's grab a nectar blob. This one looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll just get that one, have all of our purples flowered up, and our Bulbmin. So that's a happy coincidence there. And let's head into the arena. Oh, nice looking egg over there. Of course, the water wraith shows up to spoil the party. Of course. Anyway, when it starts moving, prep your purple Pikmin, and try to toss the purple onto the body, if you can. Might be easier said than done, of course. Keep tossing Pikmin at the thing. And eventually you're going to want to whistle all your Pikmin off because it gets pissed off and it'll try to slam the ground with the stone wheels of doom. Remember that things aren't perfect, so try to toss Pikmin up there. And keep tossing them back to do damage. I say after a couple of shakes you might want to try and regroup everyone. Or all of your Pikmin. And Bulbmin, I should say. And the water wraith is fast enough that it might catch you off guard, so you need to be careful. And there we go. The stone wheels are broken. And we still have 10 purple Pikmin. Once it's off of the wheels, it can't regenerate the stone wheels. So now, we actually can get away with having all of our Pikmin join in on the revenge action. If we can find the darn thing. It kind of blends into the dark background over here. It's kind of walking around really quickly, actually. It's kind of annoying. So there we go. There we go. Just keep attacking. Keep attacking. It's not going to be able to kill any more Pikmin at this point. It's just going to be really annoying with shaking all of them off, as it were. So, I mean, you probably want to try and have, like, some Pikmin to toss at it so it'll deal more damage every time it does the freaking shake. And there we go. It's finished off. A freaking water wraith. It's over. And we get a really cool treasure, though. Processing. How curious. The wraith completely vanished. But what was it? Beep. Surface object scans indicate the presence of a bright red component. Yeah, this thing is going to be quite useful. But we got to nectar up some of these Pikmin. They were rather shaken up by the events, as it were. Let's have the bowmen carry the treasure. Because it doesn't really matter if they get nectared up or not, because they're not coming with us. If it was up to me, I would let them join us. But it's just the way the game is designed, unfortunately. And thankfully the research pod is right there. So there we go. Yep, another treasure worth 100 Pokos. Consider me surprised. Professional noisemaker. How insulting. This object's coloring is more eye-catching than my own hull. Beep, beep. I shall connect it to the alarm clock our esteemed president was so fond of. Processing complete. I have refitted both objects into a pluck-a-phone. Now, simply blowing your whistle will inspire Pikmin sprouts to pop up out of the ground. One of the best upgrades in the game. So now, you don't have to manually pluck Pikmin sprouts anymore. You just whistle them, and they will come out of the ground just by whistling them. It's insanely convenient. So let's go ahead and grab a... Oh, we still have another nectar blob there. Okay, that's actually really neat, unironically. So we're going to be leaving with all flowered Pikmin, but we did lose a lot of blues. And some Bulbmin, unfortunately. I'm not sure if Bulbmin devs count, though. And yeah, they can't follow us. They have to stay in the cave. Apparently they can't survive outside of the cave. And the submerged castle had a whopping 13 treasures. A rather infamously evil number in some circles. But it's finally over. Oh my god. The other dungeon in the perplexing pool is nowhere near as bad. But it can be pretty bad. But not like that. Not like that. And we have 90% of the debt recovered. Which is, of course, very good. But the blue Pikmin have lost a little morale. Oh wait, no, I still got 163 of them. And plus 10 purple Pikmin, we now have 65 purple Pikmin in total. So that's unironically really good. So I think we're actually going to spend the rest of the day, we're going to get out 100 blues, and we're going to try and make a little more progress towards the next day. Like have some stuff done that'll probably be finished off in the next day, because otherwise it might be rather time consuming. At least we don't have to worry about enemies too much, because the enemies have been taken care of for the most part. We got some water dumples though, so let's try and take care of these critters. Without losing Pikmin, ideally, because they can be a mouthful, Pikmin sometimes. And let's see how much we can knock down this wall before the countdown gets us. As long as the Pikmin are under your command, you won't lose them. Even if we can only get it down like a notch or two, that will help, obviously. Because we are pretty much done with like the north side of the map. treasure-wise and dungeon-wise, etc. All that's left is actually the south side, or maybe we are on the north side, or depending on how you look at it. Because when I look at it this way, oh, hold up. When I look at it this way, yeah, it's more like it. So, yeah, we're gonna have to try and get the wall down as much as we can. I guess it's only gonna be one notch, okay? But we still got some seconds. Let's try to milk this a little bit more. Maybe when it gets down to like 3 or something like that, might be alright. But, or maybe 2. Yeah, get down to 2. Because that'll give us, yeah, there we go. And, yeah, we're going to have to end it there because I don't want to risk it any more than I have to. So there we go. Whew. What a harrowing day that was. Not just the submerged castle, although that, don't get me wrong, that was pretty bad. The dungeon, that was definitely the highest death count for us, unfortunately. Wasn't the most profitable either, which is kind of sad, actually. So even though we lost a lot of blues, look at the insane plus we still managed to get. And it does seem like Bulbman deaths do count towards your death total, so yeah, if you're going for a true deathless run, you might want to consider that. And the yellow Pikmin population went up a little bit. That's pretty good. I don't even remember when we did that. Alright, I'll take it. And for the email, today I tried building a small room at the top of the tree. It reminded me of my younger days, when I lived in a little shed. Those memories helped make this bearable. I don't think I've ever gotten that email before. Well, last time got pretty messy, didn't it? Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 2. Last time we took care of the perplexing, well, not in its entirety, but we got some more treasures, and we took care of the submerged castle, the most infamous dungeon in the game. In today's episode, we're just going to dive right back into the perplexing pool and finish everything off, including collecting the last 3 above-ground treasures and the final dungeon. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to pay off that debt as well. Before we do anything else, we want to take out 20 white Pikmin, and we're going to go ahead and place them, or perch them, however you want to approach that, on this spot over here, for a reason that will become apparent later on. For the remainder of our Pikmin total, we're going to want 30 yellow Pikmin. And other than the 30 yellow Pikmin, we're also going to want the rest of them to be blue. For a very good reason that should become apparent quite soon. Alright, so let's move forward a bit here. This is a pretty good place to split. We'll have Olimar take care of the yellows, and Louie take care of the blues, because it's fitting. And then we're going to prioritize getting the wall taken down over here. So we're going to want to put about 30 blue Pikmin on there, or close to that. Yeah, I think 30's a good enough number. And the rest of the blues, we're going to want to take all the way over here. Ignoring the spicy berry plant, because it's only 5 berries, it's not really that big of a deal. And we're going to have these 20 blue Pikmin work on this bridge. And now Olimar is going to be very tough to do. But I think what we want to do is we want to try and have yellow Pikmin all the way over here. Hopefully they don't fall down. Although this Pikmin is... it was kind of looking for it, but... Alright. So this is similar to that spot from Distant Spring in Pikmin 1, actually. We're going to have to use Olimar to navigate around here, and the yellow Pikmin navigate through here, so that they can gather near the bridge. Make sure we got all of them. Yes, we do. Rather precarious, but the goal is to get them to destroy this electric wall over here, which we can leave to their devices. Meanwhile, Louie has finished the bridge, so we're going to be good on that. And we're going to have the remainder of the blue Pikmin left over from the bridge effort help with the wall effort. Especially since it looks like the wall is, it's almost down. It's almost completely down, so that's pretty good, actually. This should be enough to finish it off, thankfully. Although that's probably going to take a little while longer. This wall has still got a bit to it, though, but this wall is taken down first. No surprise. Wollywog over here. The blue Pikmin should be fine. Shouldn't be too many deaths, because it seems like Wollywogs are positioned in a way where they don't kill as much as in Pikmin 1. It can actually get pretty ridiculous at times. So, Skitterleafs, minor annoyance. Sometimes they can shake your Pikmin off. We can go ahead and take care of these water dumples. They're fairly easy to kill without losing Pikmin. A far cry from the original, I would say, where they could be pretty threatening. So we're going to have the Pikmin chill over there. And we need these 20 white Pikmin, because they need to uncover a buried treasure. Right over here. I'm not sure if that's an exact science. Check on the electric wall. It's almost down. It's almost down, so it's actually possible. Like, I don't know. Actually, I think the treasure is going to pop out first. And it's not like there's anything bad that could happen to the yellows, because they're just behind a gate. They're not near any enemies, except for the Toady Bloister and a bunch of yellow Wollywogs, but they're out of range. But, alright. It would be pretty bad to backtrack here, so I think we're going to have to leave Olimar there for now. What we're going to do now is we're going to have the maximum amount of Pikmin take the treasure. Yes. Not the leaf, though. I would rather not the leaf. Alright. And we're going to have some Wollywogs over here. We can try to distract them. So hopefully they don't bother the Pikmin carrying the onion replica, which is what the treasure is called. And come on, yellow Wollywog. Come on. Alright, here we go. They might be out of the way now. So with these blue Pikmin, we want to destroy a rock that's actually keeping the water around here. But we're also inadvertently going to get a sneak peek at the dungeon because, yeah, it's also the dungeon entrance. Beep beep, a large rock sits in a reservoir of water. May I interject here? I have been observing the two of you working together. You have been cooperating well, beep beep. Yet, to face the dangers ahead, you must be free of the shackles of a boss-worker relationship. Learn to use X to separate and Y to change leaders. Beep beep. If you can master teamwork, you can overcome any impediment. That's kind of an ominous message to get out of nowhere. Kind of implies what you might be dealing with in the dungeon, I suppose. Unfortunately, we need to get this plug taken care of so that there's no water. There's actually a treasure under the water that's also buried. It's also possible we're going to need to recruit some purples for that. But at any rate, the water is drained, thankfully. And it looks like the treasure's going to get back safely. I don't think any Pikmin were lost. So, we're going to have Louie head back to the landing site, I think. Yep, treasure is safe and sound. We didn't lose any Pikmin, so that's a bonus. So, I mean, there is nectar over here. So I'm kind of tempted to do that, actually. Yeah, let's just do that. Because now Olimar is free to take the yellows to another electric gate to get another treasure. And while he's doing that, Louie's going to worry about using the whites to uncover the buried treasure around here. And then we're going to need 30 blues to get the treasure that's behind the electric gate. Because, I don't know, it's kind of a clutter. Kind of a clutter, I must admit. So, yeah, we got to go across the bridge over here. And we're going to be using 30 yellows to try and take down that wall as soon as possible. The treasure caps out at 20 Pikmin, though. Honey Wisp for free nectar, I will take. Might not need it, but better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. That's usually how this works. So, there we go. And we're going to want to move them around a little bit. Unfortunately, this wall kind of gets in the way. But there we go. All 30 yellow Pikmin. And they can start working on this wall at a fairly modest pace. We got Nectar over here, so we can take advantage of that. And there's some more Nectar gloves in case we need more. So we need at least 30... Well, actually, we need at least 20 blues for that treasure. So I think we might be alright about that. Though, there are going to be some enemies to deal with, so I think we're going to go ahead and deposit 20 blues and leave them there, because we want to actually go ahead and bring out 20 purples. And we're also going to get these whites. So we're going to use whites and purples to scour around the beach area, as it were. I'm probably going to want to bring the blues down here so they're easier to access for Olimar when that time comes. It's probably going to be sooner rather than later. Bam. The dungeon's already unlocked, so we don't have to worry about anything stopping us in that regard. And I don't think the Toady Blowster is going to mess with the treasure either, because it's a pretty passive enemy, all things considered. Alright, with 20 purples, this ought to be more than enough to fully slay the Wollywog. Because we gotta be careful. So, we're gonna slay this other Wollywog just in case. Because it's kind of risky. And we're gonna have the whites and the purples join in here. I think they can both tag team the treasure. The wall is almost taken down. So, go. We'll have them take the carcass, I guess. And we gotta be careful here. Oh my. Oh. Oh, that was close. Alright, so we gotta put the yellows back the way that we came in, sort of. And, you know, they're going to have to stay there while Olimar has to go grab 30 blues, which are thankfully close by. So we got to go ahead and grab those. I think we should have enough time to get to the dungeon, though. It might be a little close. Oh! Well, actually, we don't need 30. We need 20, but, you know, same difference. I think the yellow Wollywog carcass is going to the yellow Pikmin too, so that's pretty nice. And this is a fortified delicacy. I could see it being a delicacy in some culture. But yeah, I think we're going to have enough time. It's just going to be a bit close. So, we're going to have 20 blue Pikmin on that. We want more than 20 blues to go into the next dungeon. Because the next dungeon is going to be biased towards fire and water. Well, hold on a minute. We might need to rearrange the numbers. Maybe we do want 20 yellows, actually. Anyway, America's favorite pasta sauce, ragu. Optical illustration. And, of course, the treasure gauge for the overworld goes down. I think we'll go for 15 purples, to be honest. And probably 15 whites going into the dungeon. Because, obviously, we can just make more. Okay, we've got 25 blues. We want at least 25 reds. Be pretty good. And yeah, we'll just get 20 yellows. It's less than the other two, so it should be fine. So there we go. And we're just gonna politely march on over to the dungeon. It does seem like we have a few red Pikmin that are... Whoa, hold up. We have a few red Pikmin that are still leaves. Are they leaves or are they Steves? Hey, at least it rhymes, right? So there we go. You can tell when you no longer have any treasures left on the overworld because the treasure gauge works for that as well. We're just gonna calmly enter the dungeon. I promise it's not as bad as the submerged castle, but it's going to be 8 floors. I'm fairly positive of that. So yeah, the shower room technically has every obstacle, but there's a bias towards water and fire. As you might be able to guess, this dungeon is going to have a fairly big focus on water, because it's the shower room. And we're also going to see a new type of floor as well. So, I mean, all the submerged castle was with a bunch of caves, but this dungeon introduces the tile. I think it's just called tile. The tile floor. Yep. So let's separate out our Pikmin a bit. I almost said Pokemon. 15 purple, that'd be good, because I saw this guy a mile away. By the way, watch out for falling rocks. Hopefully this guy gets stunned by 15 purples. Yep. Pretty good stuff. Watery Blowhog, easy enough to deal with. Okay, thank God that was just a treasure. Wollywog, easy to kill, and yes, they do show up underground as well. It's pretty interesting. You only really need like 10 purples to take care of a Blowhog of any kind, for the most part, I would say. So, let's try to take care of this Wollywog carefully. Very carefully. And I think we're just gonna grab this treasure and go. Although it doesn't really matter because, after this dungeon, we're almost certainly gonna have the debt paid off. Let's just say. You might be wondering how I know that. I've just been doing the math, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. Just been doing the math. Wow, we don't even have enough, oh. That explains it. We are going to try and milk this place for all it's worth with enemy carcasses, just in case. But I'm pretty sure, even without that, the Merciless Extractor. That's actually a kitchen tool I'm not too familiar with. Also, apparently that was the only treasure on this floor. Well, alright then. I was going to mine this floor, but I think we'll just be on our merry way instead. Because, hey, the exit's right there. Quick and painless first floor. I definitely needed that after the submerged castle. Alright, floor number 2 is going to be a bit larger than the first floor, and I get the feeling there's going to be more than one treasure to collect. Call it a hunch. Anyways, we're going to start off with some poison, it looks like. So, gotta be very careful here. Use our white Pikmin to take care of them. 15 is more than enough to take care of, like, each of these at a time. By the way, still gotta worry about falling rocks. So be very careful about that. Throw the Pikmin onto the back of a Bulborb of any size or species, and, well, any small Bulborb of any species, I should say, and you usually instantly kill them. It's just a generally good tactic for the larger ones, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's like an instant win, you know? But you can still try. And here, you got some paths around here. There's the exit. Pretty good. Let's cure this poison gas generator. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. This is a new enemy. Lesser spotted jellyfish. Being positioned near an orange Bulborb. That's pretty bad, but I think it might be manageable if we regroup a bit here. We'll go ahead and have our white Pikmin grab that dwarf orange Bulborb for some extra Poco. Because we were going to have to come over here and regroup anyway. Alright, so I think we only want to take our purples. And hopefully the jellyfish doesn't interfere much with the Bulborb. I mean, they are kind of merged together a little bit. Alright, let's try to lure the jellyfish over here somewhat. And bam! Alright, clean cut. Wow, all the treasures just clumped up here. That's kind of funny, actually. So, clean. Okay. I'm not sure if 15 purple Pikmin's going to be enough to take care of the lesser spotted jellyfish. But we can try! Actually, yeah, I'm thinking it's like barely enough. And I don't think they got nectared out, so it's pretty good. Alright, Olimar's back here, and I assume he's going to be ready for the cleanup. Hopefully there aren't any more falling rocks lying around nearby. Otherwise, that would be pretty annoying. to say. Matter of fact, maybe it's not a bad idea to scout around. Not that it probably doesn't matter that much. At any rate, we'll also go ahead and collect all of the carcasses. We'll worry about that. Anyway, looks like the treasure's going to include a bar of soap and a thick cylindrical battery. Which I'm not sure exactly what it's called off the top of my head. I'm mostly only familiar with AA and AAA. Possibly a D battery as well, but I don't quite remember what it looks like. It's kind of weird situation. I just use AA so much. I'm literally using a couple of AA batteries right now to power up the Wavebird GameCube controller I'm using for this Let's Play. And also for the Wii Remote I had to use to start up the system in the first place. So, you know, SUD generator. I mean, it generates SUDs. So that's not a completely inaccurate treasure name right there. Where's the exit? Oh, the exit's right over there. Oh, let's chill. Yeah, we're chilling. So we got the SUD generator, and then we got the cylindrical battery. Oh, we can see it's C battery. Durable energy cell. Yeah, alright, I can buy that. Alright, we got 100 Pikmin, and the exit's right over there. As long as they're under your command, everything should be good. I don't think any of them got left behind, so bada bing, bada boom. Let's move on to the 3rd floor. Not quite halfway there, unfortunately, but we're making some progress. We're definitely making some progress. Getting some pretty decent RNG, to be honest. Alright, sub-level 3, and it looks like we're already going to be introduced to some more of those jellyfish enemies. Got some water dumple action as well. Normally, you want to use blue Pikmin on them because they're usually in the water, but when they're on the ground, yeah, just use purples. Just use purples. I think I want to scout around a bit here with the captain. Yeah, just kind of want to fill in the map a little bit as much as I can, see what kind of threats we're working with. So there's an enemy called the Greater Spotted Jellyfish, which is large and kind of a pinkish purplish color. You probably saw it earlier, so I'm not going to try and insult you or anything. That Wallywog randomly spawns, but it doesn't have a treasure. The smaller jellyfish can suck up your Pikmin. There's the exit, so we're going to have to worry about that later with blue Pikmin, it seems. And the smaller one gets Pikmin, the larger one can suck up your captains as well. So you actually need to be very careful. The larger ones also take a lot of abuse, so I might need to engage in battle with it with more than just the 15 purples. Believe it or not. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of enemies here. This could be a problem. There's one of the treasures. There's probably another treasure around here somewhere. I just haven't found it yet. And it is over here. You can barely see it, but it's there. So yeah, it's mostly a lot of jellyfish. There's probably a treasure inside of the Greater Spotted Jellyfish as well. Alright, so trying to do this with only 15 purples may not be the best idea. I kind of want to try and lure out some of the jellyfish to make this a little better. Only deal with some of them at a time, as it were. Even the smaller jellyfish take a bit of abuse. Seemed like about the same HP as a creeping chrysanthemum if I had to, like, spitball it. Take care of that water dumple. Yeah, the Greater Spotted Jellyfish seems to be able to move. So, I don't even think I can reach it with purple Pikmin. So there we go. Gotta be very careful. Even the little ones can prove to be pesky. Alright. We can get this one pretty good. Get it to like half health. Whistle off. And do it again. So it seems to take 2 sweeps for 15 purples to get a small jellyfish. Just so you know, the jellyfish technically can eat the Pikmin. So you need to be careful about that as well. Alright, I think we're gonna have to go all in on this one. Oh, wait, I forgot about that jellyfish. Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. Alright. I kind of feel like we want to start with yellows on the greater jellyfish. Just to get it down. And then swap over the purples. Yes. Try to get it stunned. Yes. Perfect. Now that is an ideal greater spotted jellyfish if I've ever seen one. Now this guy... Yeah, that should be alright. And it gets down, just get all of the Pikmin on it. One sweep. Lost some flowers, but that's alright. One sweep. Easy clap. Easy clap. Okay, so I assume we're going to need blues for that. Man, this is a bit of a mess trying to dismiss and organize all your Pikmin with all this interesting stuff to collect nearby. Interesting in quotation marks, by the way, because the enemy carcasses are not really that big of a deal. Alright. With our 25 blues, let's go ahead and go back over here to get the treasure that's in the water, as it were. Don't know how many it's going to take. 12? So it settles on 20. Pretty good number. Yep. Come on, come to me, my precious blues. And the rest of the Pikmin can go ahead and grab all of the carcasses. So, here we go. Grab the water dumples. Oh, and this treasure. The jellyfish don't leave behind bodies, so that's probably worth mentioning. Although now that I think about it, I don't think there was a treasure on the other side. I think it's just the exit, which is blocked off by a wall on the other side of water. But hey, we got 10,000 Pokos thanks to the mirrored stage. So when we're done with the dungeon, we know, yeah, we paid off the debt. Now we just gotta survive the rest of the dungeon. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. To be sure. And this is the Vorpal Platter. Not sure what Vorpal means. Okay, so there actually is still a treasure on this floor. Alright, interesting, interesting. Okay, perhaps I want to do some more scouting with Olimar, and I guess we're gonna have to take the blues. But do want to do some more. Oh yes, we have the Hermit Crawmad and the Wollywog to worry about. Maybe? I mean, they're off to the side, and the treasure radar didn't really go off. Come to think of it, there isn't any treasure over there. Strange, strange. And the map is completely, like, opened up. So I'm kind of wondering where the heck the treasure is, or maybe I had a brain fart or something. Okay. Well, I see a wall. Oh yeah, the shell. I did have a brain fart, technically. Well, that's definitely the last treasure. So let's try and let's try to get that taken care of. Yeah, that was definitely my bad. Wow. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get all the Pikmin on here. Bring them down, boys. Etc. And no surprises from the top. Good. That's the way I like my surprises. To not come from the sky. You know, it could be very dangerous. Somebody could get hurt. So there we go. This should be the last treasure now, for sure. And this is probably the mysterious shell, or did we already get that treasure? This is the scrumptious shell. Okay, so I guess that one is edible. But okay, sub-level 4, we finish this, we'll officially be halfway through. I get the feeling this floor might be a little different, but let's look around a bit here. No need to be hasty. No need to be hasty here. Hopefully we can find some nectar. That'd be pretty nice. I don't see any enemies. But I do see some Queen Candy Pop Buds. Which isn't really going to help our case very much. Ah! So these things flying around are called spectralids. And if you kill them, they drop honey or nectar. They have nectar and etc. But you can only kill so many of them. Eventually, they just kind of all fly away, never to be seen again. Unfortunately. I don't think I want my Pikmin to start carrying them all back, though. Fortunately, I don't think I stopped them all quite. But at the very least, we got a lot of nectar, which we definitely need. Let's try to get them all replenished. Replenished on the nectar. This is very good. Oh! Alright, we got something good. Alright, let's get really close, but not too close. And then try to adjust the camera here. And there we go! +2 bitter spray. Very helpful, very helpful. So that'll give us some more free passes to deal with enemies in the future. There's a geyser. Alright, so I guess this is definitely kind of a breather type of floor. Which is good. But we do have a treasure around here somewhere. So I do need to concern myself with that. I think there's only one treasure, to be fair. I don't think it's there, but I'm gonna have Louie over there. Whoa. Olimar kind of got left behind a bit there, didn't he? Okay, we're gonna grab all of the Pikmin. Yep. Louie's just gonna stand by the exit for the old shortcut or Rooney, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I think that's the treasure right there. I believe that's... Well, that's a kind of leaf. I can tell you that much. What kind of a leaf? I probably shouldn't say. But that is a kind of leaf. I guess we can grab these spectralids since we're going to have to go back. Maybe we don't have to, but I feel a lot more comfortable if we do. So, it's just for my own peace of mind more than anything else. Yeah, the research pod is just over here. So this is a breather floor, but because there is a treasure here, technically I would have to show this off in a no commentary long play out of obligation. Only +10 Pokos. Arboreal Frippery. Alright, floor number 5. Just over the halfway mark here. Maybe? I actually don't remember if it was 7 or 8 floors. I think it is 8 floors, to be honest, but... we could be mistaken. Ah, Violet Candy Pop Bud. Well, I will take that. Which Pikmin to convert, though? Believe it or not. No, yellow Pikmin are the lowest one we have. I guess it's gotta be the blues, because we do have a lot of blues back at home, so... Let's just take care of that. And we'll leave the sprouts there for now. Because, don't... Oh, there's a nectar source right there. Never mind. So let's go ahead and have the Pikmin do that. And let's grab the purple Pikmin out of here and, let's just nectar them up and have more purple Pikmin to take care of, like, Wollywogs and stuff. That'll definitely help. Random jellyfish. That ain't good. Thankfully, you can kill it before it eats any Pikmin. Usually pretty consistently. Yep. There we go. It's usually pretty consistent. So, got some nectar. Uh-oh. Some of them were a little too slow. Fire geysers. Easy to destroy, so no big deal there. There's going to be our first treasure. And a withering blowhawk that can blow through the wall. So you need to be careful. Yep. So come on, come on. Here we go. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you can't really zoom out too much because of the darkness of the cave, as it were. Kill the dwarf. do the other dwarf. There we go. So we got 2 treasures pretty close to one another. A fiery blowhog in the water. Oh boy. Alright, it's looking like we're gonna have to take down this wall. Because, oh god. Oh god. Okay, that was very precarious. I'm sorry if I went silent on there, but, Wallawogs, they can be pretty tough if you're not careful. Tougher than the yellow ones, for some reason. I don't think that was the case in the original Pikmin game, though. I think, the yellow ones were tougher than the regular ones there, but... how times change, I suppose. Alright, let's climb up the hill. Because there is a treasure inside there. But only blue Pikmin are going to be able to reach it. And it's a 20 treasure. So we're going to need every single blue. That we have because we converted some of them to purples. So... just got to be careful that I don't throw another kind of Pikmin down there. Sorry that I have to be so methodical about this, but there we go. I think that's going to be it. Although I don't know if the treasure is safe. Actually, it should be after we take care of this fire geyser. There we go. Yep. There we go. Don't know where the other 2 Pikmin went. I guess they went for the treasure. So we can grab the carcasses and should be alright. Right? I hope so. And I guess we can grab this treasure? And probably the bottle cap too, and we might actually be good. This treasure. Beach cliff sardines. In soybean oil. Endless repository. Sardines can be very good. They just smell bad. That's the only issue. So... oh. Oh. So that exit might be a little tough to reach. Might be a little tough to reach with that withering blowhog wanting to be all annoying and stuff. Or we could just use a captain. That might work. Anyways, the broken food master, which is just a broken frying pan. It's a frying pan with a broken handle, basically. Oh, there's still treasure on this floor. Okay, so I guess we aren't done. We aren't quite done yet. Oh, well, we still got the bottle cap. So it's right over there, but... that withering blowhog is going to prove to be a pain if we're not careful. Especially with that fire geyser just sitting there. And the fiery blowhog is still in the water. But somehow I don't feel like it's going to be that much of a threat. As long as we stay away from it. Don't aggro it, basically. Wait, what? It came out of the water? Well, say hello to dry land. And then you get defeated. Alright. Just to ensure there's no issues. We'll just have white Pikmin get on the battle cap. They'll take it back to the research pod and be done with it. Hopefully. Definitely need some nectar for the new purples. Otherwise they're going to be really freaking slow. Like, really freaking slow. I mean, flower purple Pikmin aren't fast, but they're fast enough. Yoo-hoo chocolate flavored beverage. I think I recognize the Yoo-hoo brand, but chocolate flavored beverage? That kind of descriptor has me asking questions. Alright, floor 6 of the shower room. Thinking about it, I think this is actually another 7th floor dungeon. I think the 8th floor dungeon that I had in mind is like in another area. So, let's let's not worry about that too much. Anyway, get rid of the little critters. There's a wall over here, which might actually be worth taking down, now that I think about it. Do we still have any purples? Yes, we do. Good. You gotta be careful here, though, because there's a certain type of enemy that might spawn out of there. Or a certain type of creature, I should say. It may not be an enemy per se. Alright, so this is a doodle bug. It emits poison. Be very careful about this. And best thing about it is, though, you can actually get 2 bitter sprays from it. So not any treasures, but 2 bitter sprays from 1 enemy is pretty good value, all things considered. So let's do this. There we go. And we can do it again. Because, yeah. So, just bump, bump, bump. And there we go. Now we're up to 9 bitter sprays. Didn't have to harvest any berries, thankfully. So, and we got some regular nectar out of it, too. So, obviously, that's going to come in handy, because we have some Pikmin that are long overdue for nectar dosage. So let's grab all these. Looks like there was a treasure nearby as well, which is pretty convenient. We can just break down the wall and get that treasure in relative peace, I assume. Unless something decides to fall right out of the sky. Fall right out of the sky. Matter of fact, okay, looks like it might be safe. Fall right out of the sky. Oh my! This game. I love it most of the time, but sometimes it can be a process. But at least this was a really easy enemy to take care of. So, let's count our blessings, question mark? I knew it wasn't going to be that free, though. Expect this to happen a lot more often later on. So, we collect a Snapple Top. I've actually been sampling some of their Snapple tea lately, and it's pretty good. An abstract masterpiece. I do like the color of the top. That is all I will say. So, okay, we'll leave it at that. And I guess we have a couple of options. But definitely what I want to do is I want to scout around first. Alright, we got a new enemy here. Bumbling Snitch Bug. This is another kind of snitch bug. This one only goes after captains, not Pikmin. We also have a volatile Dweevil there. That's exactly why I'm scouting out right now. And what is this? Ooh, that's a pretty good treasure right there. Let's get that other Munge Dweevil out of there. And there's the exit. So that's a nice little tunnel that has a treasure and a couple of potentially annoying enemies. And we have another path over here, which has an orange Bulborb. A Wollywog and some dwarfs. There's probably a treasure right over here. Yep. So this direction, we're definitely going to want to take some purples. The other direction, probably we want to take some purples. But the bumbling snitch bug is pretty high up, so having a yellow Pikmin could be pretty useful. Yes. Okay, there we go. We'll join forces. Try to look out for that bumbling snitch bug. There it is. And there we go. I think it's slightly more durable than the swooping snitch bug, but I'm not exactly sure. Alright, let's try to get this treasure out of here if we can. Hopefully no unexpected surprises. Doesn't seem to be. And then there's the Munge Weevil. Easy to kill, thankfully. And we do want to take out the wall. That way we could just go to the exit when we are ready. Yep. Fall right out of the sky. And we'll just grab the rest of the Pikmin and grab the treasure that way, hopefully with the white Pikmin at the helm. I think we'll let him have that. I don't think I care about that enough to risk dealing with the anode Dweevil. The one that can instantly kill Pikmin with electricity. Yeah, no thanks. I mean, okay. No, really. I can live without the 3 or 4 Pokos or whatever. Behemoth Jaw. It's just the bottom set of dentures. It's no big deal. No big deal. Alright, so the other path, definitely purples should cut it. Oh god! Whoa! Whoa! At that freaking range! Jesus! Almost freaking died. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to calm the F down, and we got... Oh my god. Come on, Wollywog. Wollywog doesn't want to play ball, so... I feel like I got really lucky there, because sometimes you can misaim the orange Bulborb, and it's not pretty. Alright, next big threat. Wollywog. Come on, purples. Stun. No. Onslaught. The purple onslaught. Let's just go in here. Defeat. Defeat. Alright, if there's any in the water, then I'm pretty sure that the purples can handle. And they're just all gonna get these really slowly. So. Alright, get all the other Pikmin out of here. And we want blues, primarily. And hopefully they don't get in the way much. Alright, 20 blues. Go over here. All the other Pikmin just... Just exist. Just exist. Alright, here we go. Get all the carcasses out of the way so that we can have a clean, nice approach. There's probably one. Yeah, there's one. So, easily dealt with. And the treasure only requires 8, maximum of 15, which is perfect, because we can use 5 to get the carcass. And there we go. That should be the last treasure of the floor, and probably the last treasure of the shower room in general. Don't think we're going to need nectar. The exit, where was the exit? I was on the other side of the hallway. So, yeah. Let's just do the shortcut of Rooney over here. Get Louie right over there. I'll run over there, right in time for the treasure. And this treasure is just a rubber ducky, right? But actually, it's a rubber ugly. That's a nice play on words there. Or is it going to be 8 floors? It is the... Oh. Wait a minute. It is the final floor. Let's go. Let's go. Alright. It's a really dark floor, though. But, well, let's take down some walls, I guess. Because, yeah, we got a lot of walls. And these walls are really weak. So that's something. Oh! Free nectar eggs, okay. That's good, and I was a little scared that they would try something, but I think I think we can live with nectar eggs falling from the sky. Oh my! Well, I guess we got a sneak preview of the boss. I will get to that when we get to that, but we gotta destroy this other wall, hopefully without the boss trying to get a snack in on us. Okay. And we still gotta kind of like, there's like all these tunnels. I'm not sure why we have all these tunnels here. It's just making this floor a bit more convoluted than it needs to be. All these freaking walls, like, come on now. Oh, you hear the music. I hear the boss music. We're going to get around to it. But I just want to make sure that this area, like, make sure we're not missing anything over here. Which I don't think we are. Yeah, so... let's see. What's over here? Probably a lot of nothing. Or it's another... kind of... Whoa! That is not a path. That is not a path. Okay. Alright, I think we've thoroughly explored what we can, because now we gotta worry about the boss. So let's stick close to the ship, the research pod. I'm gonna have Olimar take 25 reds, and Louis take 20 blues. This might seem strange, but actually no, I don't want Louis to take any Pikmin at all. In fact, I also want Olimar to take the purples. I want Olimar to be the offensive force, and Louis is going to be a distraction. Say hello to the Ranging Bloister, the older cousin of the Toady Bloister. Now, I know what you might be thinking. The Toady Bloister, that was an easy enemy. But the Ranging Bloister, well, that's a bit of a different story. Because it's a large enemy, it kind of takes a lot of abuse. Yeah, we gotta be very careful here. Because, yeah. I can't believe that Pikmin just dodged. Just barely. Holy hell. Come on, little Pikmin, we don't... No! Holy hell. Stay the hell back. Louis is trying to keep this thing distracted. Oh, that attack can pack a punch. Whoa, okay. Let's be very careful here. Actually, this works? Actually, I don't know if this works. It doesn't look like it's doing any damage at all. It's just kind of tickling it. Ah, well. But yeah, this is the basic idea for what you want to do with the Ranging Bloister. You want to keep swapping captains because it's going to change which captain it focuses on, right? And when it does, you're able to use the other one to attack from a more advantageous position, as you can see. But it's still kind of tough, because the Ranging Bloister can still shake them off. It doesn't seem to have that much HP, though, interestingly enough. So, yeah, you just throw a bunch of Pikmin at it, and you might be golden. Yeah, there we go. So the fight is kind of a quick and volatile battle, potentially. So, yeah. Anyway, it drops the, processing. How odd. The gooey creature dissolved, leaving this curious item behind. Beep beep. It appears to be coated in slime. Are you sure you want to collect this? Absolutely sure. Beep beep. You'll toss just about anything in my hold. It would be nice if you cleaned occasionally. Beep beep. So we got the Pluckaphone from the Water Wraith in the Submerged Castle. This treasure is kind of a companion piece to that, in that it's actually, well, you'll see what it does. And this wall goes down like nothing. So of course, let's leave Olimar at the geyser and have Louis pick up the Pikmin. Why not? Yep, so this is the Amplified Amplifier. Nice play on words, I suppose. Beep beep, this shape is well suited for the emission and amplification of sound waves. A moment, please. Beep beep. I shall use this as the final part in my new sound equipment. The Mega Tweeter is done. Okay. Captain Olimar, this device has increased the acoustic range of your whistle. Beep beep. So it increases the range of your whistle by a considerable amount, which pairs up with the Pluckaphone quite nicely. Quite nicely. It also makes sense you get this after the Ranged Bloister, because it kind of has that amplified sound with the... It's bad I wasted a bitter spray since it's one of those enemies that's immune. Or not immune, but it gets like a lot of defense and doesn't seem to take any damage. But we still got 8 bitter sprays. I'm not that worried about it. 14 treasures in total. So actually the Snaggart Hole had more treasures than any of these other dungeons. That's kind of surprising. Shaw Room had a lot of value though. More importantly though, we paid off the debt. So now when we return to the overworld, well, let's just say that there's nothing else left that needs to be done. You've repaid the entire debt. Yep. It wasn't easy, though. Well, that's all there is to say about Pikmin 2 for now, boys and girls and in-betweeners. So, I'm going to leave you guys off with the cutscene. That visual right there, though, is hilarious. So I'm going to leave you guys with this cutscene, or cutscenes? Something like it looked like there was a transition there, but anyway, I'll leave you all to enjoy the cutscenes and also a bit of a credit sequence. I say a bit of a credit sequence because there's a bit of a asterisk attached to that. Oh, the blue Pikmin looks so adorable there. I wonder why they showed the blue before yellow. I think it's because you see them before the yellows in Pikmin 2, but you don't obtain them before. You still obtain them in the same order as you did in the original Pikmin. So, but you do see them before the yellows, so I guess that counts for that. Yep, we're going to have a bit of an odd credit sequence, and that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Let's Play Pikmin 2. Is there more story after this? Or are there going to be more videos after this? I don't know, maybe I'll do a bonus video of the challenge mode, but for now, I leave you guys to it. Alright? Yeah, it's just... Louie got stranded on the planet, and the only reason I leave in this credit sequence is because it's like a cutscene. You know, they kind of did a bundle deal here. So Louie is still lost on the planet. That kind of implies that maybe, we're gonna go back and rescue him. Maybe. In order for you guys to figure that out for yourself, if you don't already know, you'll just have to stay tuned in case there is a next time on Let's Play Pikmin 2. You all take care, alright? And Louie, hang in there, man. Hang in there. He's probably just looking for food, though.